What's going on, world? Enjoying myself on this Sunday. Just thinking about some real stuff. Just thinking how powerful accountability is, and how powerful saying it's my fault. Finding where it was your fault in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Because every event that happened to us, we can find where we went wrong and certain things that led us to bad situations or bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? So taking accountability is true healing, man. You know what I'm saying? Taking accountability is healing. They say, hey, you need to go see a therapist and stuff like that when you're dealing with mental issues or past trauma. You sit down with a therapist. I mean, I've never been to a therapist, but all they're gonna do is try to get you to hold yourself accountable in those events and those actions to see where you could have done something different, or how did you get in that position, and so like accountability and the willingness to be able to say it's my fault. Like, do that shit for a year. Everything will change. But if you don't have the ability, if you have the unwillingness to change, then it's gonna feel like stress or heaviness. If you're not willing to make drastic change, then no, you're just gonna add to your depression or whatever, because you can't handle change. But if you're willing to change, start with accountability. Start with saying, hey, that was my fault. I was wrong in that aspect. I'm gonna find where I went wrong in that situation. You know what I'm saying? If a teacher was like, hey, Ardell, you're gonna be a failure, and I believed the dumb shit, then that's my fault. Why did I believe it? Because I wasn't doing particularly good at that time and keeping up with the curriculum at that time. What was I actually doing? You was thinking about yourself. You was thinking about what you wanted to do with yourself. So is that really that bad? No, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? But when in the vicinity of a school building or a classroom, yeah, is bad. But when you really just separate it and say, hey, you know what? I was focused on my creativity, which that I'm able to use now in my adulthood. So what the teacher was talking, she had it misunderstood. She didn't know me. She didn't know my aspirations or what I was willing to be. But I didn't know myself enough to deflect or detach what she was saying to me to say I was going to be a failure. So I believed it. So it's my fault. She could say and believe whatever she want to believe, or she or he or whatever, So that's just a smaller example of where, we don't, it's easy to point the finger and everything like that, but it's better to take that time to say, hey, where I went wrong in that situation, Why was I vulnerable when I met that guy? Why was I vulnerable when I met that woman? Women always talking about a bad relationship. You can't expect no 18-year-old or 20-year-old to have the maturity to have the commitment that's necessary. If he never had commitment in his life, or she never had commitment in their lives, or examples to be successful in relationships or anything like that. How can you elevate something without experience? So you're gonna have a trial and error moment, and sometimes that's what young people experience with people, but sometimes they hold it against them. Oh, I don't like him because, or I don't like her because she did. Look, they're young. Where did you go wrong in that situation? You went wrong with putting somebody on a pedestal without understanding if they can uphold the commitment that's necessary. That's where you went wrong at. You didn't do no full investigation of who you were dealing with, or who you let in your life, or who you let in your emotional space. You didn't do that. that's where you went wrong at. You know what I'm saying? Truly evaluating the person. You know, everybody's not born with a booklet in their hand to treat you right or know how to treat you. So to have high expectations, you know, on somebody without them showing or without them actually earning those pedestals or high expectations, that falls on you, you know. So that's just small examples, you know, accountability and just, you know, finding where your fault, you know, what could you have went wrong, you know. I made bad decisions in relationships in the past. I was not a particular head first relationship person, but, you know, I tried it, you know, and I failed. I made bad decisions. Not that I didn't love the person. It was a transition for me to bring a level of commitment that was needed, you know. So I didn't have that. So I made bad decisions. So it was my fault on some of the damages that happened in my previous relationships. You know, had I known that I could talk to a woman and say, hey, look, I date other women, or I'm involved with other women, or, you know, to kind of give that woman that choice, you know, I would have took advantage of that more. But that's why I really wasn't a head first relationship person. So I just never really did relationships. So when I did get involved in relationships, that transition of a person that's used to being single was not an easy transition for me. You know, I was used to having my way with women, used to having, you know, women friends or whatever, you know. And now I jump into a relationship because I found somebody who basically caught my attention mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Then now, you know, I haven't cut that one aspect off, you know what I'm saying, of, you know, entertaining other energies, you know what I'm saying? So that was a transition for me. That was something I had to learn, you know what I'm saying? But before I get myself involved in another relationship, I will make sure I got that aspect, that part of me in check. If I want to put it in check, you know what I'm saying? I feel like once I find somebody worthy for me to make the proper adjustment, I make my adjustments on myself daily. You know what I'm saying? I'm a great catch for a woman. You know what I'm saying? But settling down, that word, we can't overlook that word. That word means settle. My life is not settled. I'm constantly on the run. I'm constantly on the move. I'm constantly, you know, pursuing business and everything like that. I don't have the time that's necessary. Because if I got something that's a diamond, I'm gonna want to spend time around that diamond. You know, not time away from it. You know what I'm saying? So once I have that time and my life is settled, I can give the necessary time and commitment. But if I know I can't give that, I'm not going to dive into the situation and kind of do the whole figure it out as we go type thing. That's child's play. You know, get to know somebody and get close to them and make sure that they're worth the adjustment, worth the commitment that's necessary. Because to give yourself away is like giving away a gift, and people got to see it like that. To give your freedom away, give yourself away, you're giving a gift away, and make sure that person is worthy of that gift. If they not, stay single. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with being single. Only way being single is wrong to certain people if they ain't working on themselves. They ain't working on themselves. They just, you know, thinking about what could be. If you realize how much stuff you could be doing as far as working on yourself, what you could be pursuing, your time will be swamped. Your time will be busy. But sometimes, when some people are single, they feel the pain and the weight of loneliness because they're just sitting around. They're sitting around, knowing that they could be working out, knowing that they could be strategizing their plan, knowing that they could be pursuing a business, knowing that they could be attending some of their energy into their children, knowing that they could be, but, so accountability, saying it's my fault in any situation can bring healing if you're willing to change. If you're not willing to change, don't touch it. Don't touch it. If you're willing to change, you're willing to make drastic changes in your life and other people's life, because you may owe people apology. You may owe people understanding. Some people are withholding apologies or withholding understanding because they're lack to face accountability. They don't want to face accountability. They're taught that accountability and admitting that they're wrong about something is a bad thing. To say, hey, I did do that. Hey, I was wrong in that situation. It's not a bad thing. If I wrong somebody, I'm going to come to them. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to say what I did wrong. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But some people are not used to that. Some people are hear you tell them the truth and still try to put their own spin on it because they're not used to somebody being so truthful, or being so up front. They're thinking like, okay, what's next? No, I'm not dodging responsibility. If I wronged you, and if I was wrong in a situation, I'm wrong. I apologize. That's all it is. That's all it is. But you got to be strong within yourself. You got that insecurity. You don't want to be seen as a person that make flaws. Then you're not human. Then you can't pursue things. To be successful in life, you have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to fail. And you have to have a good relationship with failure. Quitting is the worst thing that you can do.